Yes, it's been months of growing frustrations between Joe Biden and Netanyahu, and ultimately the US, during these difficult times, has tended to turn to Gallant almost as the second most important person within the country, and somebody that they can almost see as the adult in the room, somebody that they can talk policy to, and somebody who's been more supportive of their views than, it must be said, than Netanyahu has. So it's going to be a busy couple of hours for Gallant while he's here in Washington. He's met with senators. He's also meeting with Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, and then heading to meet Antony Blinken in the building just behind me as well. A lot on the agenda, including the escalating situation in the north of Israel with Hezbollah. That is something that the United States is desperate to see not escalate. And then, of course, the ceasefire deal as well that the Israelis have been back and forth on. There was competing words from Netanyahu just over the last 24 hours. On Sunday, he said that he would accept a partial deal in which hostages were returned, but that allowed the Israelis to continue fighting in the Gaza Strip. And then he walked that back on Monday in an address to Parliament. He said that ultimately the US deal is what he will be following. He says we are committed to the Israeli proposal for a hostage deal that President Biden welcomed. Our position has not changed. So differing rhetoric coming out from Netanyahu even over the course of the last 24 hours.
Over the last 24 hours. But again, Fraser, we've stopped waiting for this truce that never comes.
Yes, this is something we've been waiting for months and months and months. If you cast your mind back to March, when Joe Biden did the appearance with Seth Meyers on Late Night, in the aftermath of that was when he had that now infamous question that was given to him in the ice cream parlor in New York, in which he said that he expected a deal to happen very soon, and then that was ultimately declared to mean it would be that weekend. Of course, we are now months past that date, and nothing really has shifted at all. So we've kind of given up holding our breaths, waiting for the ceasefire deal, whilst of course hoping that something does get agreed to. But Netanyahu himself is saying that the United States is actually hindering his efforts in the Gaza Strip. He wants to continue the fighting, and one of the things he says that he needs is, of course, arms from the US. He says that they are not giving them to him. There's been a week now where he released a video saying that the US was withholding weapons from Israel. That was met with complete dumbfoundedness by the White House. They said they genuinely don't know what he's talking about. John Kirby said that the White House was vexed and perplexed as well. And then Netanyahu doubled down on that over the weekend, saying that he'd been trying to get the ammunition sent to Israel for 4 months, but ultimately it took that he was so exasperated by the fact that the shipments weren't being let to freely flow into Israel that he then did that video on Tuesday. The White House is saying that that's not true, and that actually the only thing that's been held up is one shipment of 2,000-pound bombs that they had concerns about being used in heavily populated areas. So there is a growing divide, at least in the public face, between Israel and the United States. But the US is adamant that no daylight between the two countries exists.